Hello, welcome to part 2 of a series of 4 Hangouts, Elevator Business Essentials series. So part 1 was talking very much about planning, just getting the plan and the numbers down for your business to make it happen. Now we're actually going to talk a bit more about strategy. There will be 2 more Hangouts. The next one will be on marketing, the final one will be on teams. That just kind of gives you the framework of where we are on this. So today, strategy, how to reach your goals. So just in terms of framing this, strategy is about where am I now, where am I going, how am I going to get there? But more than that, it's about digging deep. And today, that's what I want to do. I want to dig deep into some of the questions around strategy, rather than just putting the numbers down in an Excel spreadsheet, which is kind of really easy to do, but kind of maybe doesn't mean too much. Why is this important to me? Probably 13, 14 years ago, I was running an agency, and in some senses, we were lost. We just worked really, really hard. We hit numbers, but we just kind of felt like we were lost, and we felt we were losing our mojo. And the reason that was happening was because we didn't know what the big picture was. We didn't understand what the big plan was for ourselves. And once we understood what it was we were about, once we understood what we were trying to build and create, once we understood the culture and the community we were trying to create and the clients we wanted to work with, everything became much easier, not just for ourselves, but for the people whom we employed, and also for our clients. Everything just kind of slotted together. So strategy is great. And for you running an agency, the clearer you are about what it is you're trying to create, the easier it is to do it. So there's some basic questions to take place. The frame of this program is that it's part of the bigger Elevator program. Top 250 agencies working with Google partners, selected, given information, tools, tips, techniques, ideas, thoughts, processes in order to run even better agencies, to be even more successful. And my part in the program is that I run the business coaching program, where 35 agencies work with me, coaching and mentoring. And the interesting thing is I've been mentoring those agencies, and the same questions keep on coming up all the time. The same questions keep on coming up all the time, you know. The smaller agencies, less than 10, the larger agencies, greater than 30 staff, but the same questions keep on coming up again and again and again and again. Always interesting, but it's interesting. And that's the piece that I want to focus on, those questions. So the journey that you're on Elevator is from setting the vision all the way through to celebrating success, but the bits in the middle are nurturing your digital leaders and transforming the business, big thing, improving the team, getting new clients. So that's the big picture of what we're going on. So what are the obsessions that are successful? Well, what's really fascinating is that the same top 3 things, strategy, marketing, teams, are the same things that all the mentoring and coaching is about. 90% of it's about. The questions are always about, how do I grow the business? How do I put a plan in place? How do I know the plan's going to happen? It's all very well creating an Excel spreadsheet, but how do I know that we're actually going to deliver on it? And how can I predict what's going to happen? Strategy. The second load of questions are around, how are we going to get the clients? How do we choose the clients? How do we make sure we can get the clients we want to work with, who are paying us the rates that we want so that we get the profitability that we want? How do we make that marketing work? Strategy, marketing. And the third set of questions, and to my mind probably the tougher ones, are the questions around teams. How do we get our people to work together? How do we form our teams? How do we employ? How do we recruit? How do we retain? How do we make this stuff happen? So the obsessions of really great businesses is strategy, marketing, teams. These are the questions that agencies always ask about. And for independent businesses have 2 other things they talk an awful lot about, quite rightly. Do we need external finance? Because we can't grow this thing organically. So do we need to crowdfund or go to the bank or EIS scheme or whatever it is? How do we get the money in to make this machine work? And the final piece is about external advice and support. Running my own agency, and I talk from experience, running my own agency, I cannot do it all myself. I need other people to help me. I need management team around me to help me, but I also need external, outside support outside support and advice, whether it's coaching or consulting or whatever it is, but I cannot do it on my own. And again, perfect place where the elevator program fits in, giving you that external support and help. So that's your sessions are successful. What I'd like to do is just recap a little on video number 1, which is very much about planning, and then I'd like to talk a bit more about strategy in your business. So strategic planning while being aware of the outside environment, while being aware of changes in the world, political, economic, social, technological, legislative, environmental, planning while being aware of changes in the industry, such a fast-moving industry, how the big players are moving. Planning while being aware of changes in the market, market prices, market products, productization, what's going on, what people are buying and selling, what the mood is. Being aware of what your competitors, your direct competitors are doing, whether they're bigger or smaller, competing on price, competing on quality, the sort of work they're doing, whether they're niching, whether they're going broad, whether they're going shallow, whether they're going deep. And of course, what's going on for your clients, and of course, what's going on for us. That's what strategic planning is about. We covered that last time. Likewise, we covered off what a strategic plan is. A strategic plan is essentially level 0. What is our purpose? Why are we doing what are we doing? Level 1 is, different definition of the word, but it's that sense of vision. What is it we want to be? What do we want to be known for? What do we want to be known as? The best, the first, the only, the best in the niche. And the level 2 is the mission, which is how do you know we're there? So what are the numbers? Turnover, profit, cash, number of staff. These are all things which are 2 or 3 lines to give you each of those. And then the strategy piece is how are we going to do it while being aware of the outside environment? How are we going to do it? Is it by being faster, smarter, brighter, friendlier, nicer, employing the best people, employing the cheapest people, employing apprentices, employing the highest qualified people? Is it by growing it by running seminars, by running webinars? Is it by advertising? How is it you're going to grow the business? What are the steps on the way? And then what are you going to measure? Because you've got to measure to make sure this stuff happens. It's all about deciding what you're going to do and measure the right stuff. So, how to do strategy. So, I do this a lot. I do it in my own business. I recognize in my own business I need someone outside to help me do strategy, and I do it with agencies like on the coaching program. I think the best way to do it is to have an away day. Go off-site. Get some space. Think about what it is that you want to be doing, what you don't want to be doing. Maybe 2 days, a day and a half, but really just get some space to reflect on how good are we and what could we actually be doing. I would use a really cunning technique, which is a roll of wallpaper to map out the journey. Get the wallpaper, map the wallpaper out across the wall or across the table, and on the wallpaper put over here performance to date, turnover, profit, net profit, average client value, monthly billing, recurring revenue, number of staff, and then what do we want it to be in 3 years' time? Same metrics. And then piece together using Post-its and using bits of paper and what needs to happen first. First we need to get up to 10 staff, then we need to get up to average clients at £900 a month, then we need to get map in, then we need to move premises there, but we can't move premises there unless we've got enough staff, so we need to employ 3 more staff to fill, but it's making mistakes on paper. I suggest, and we'll come back to it, that you run a really, really simple dashboard, a 1-page dashboard, if that, maybe a dozen measures of performance on a monthly basis so you can measure your performance, because the strategy plan's great, writing it down, but you're actually meant to deliver. It's all about action. And then some kind of a State of the Nation report, a report that on a monthly basis has your dashboard and has just key issues, because what we're talking about is working on the business, not in the business, but it has key issues for your business so that on that monthly board meeting you can have a grown-up conversation about how your progress against the strategy is going, what you need to do more of, less of, start doing, stop doing, continue doing to make it happen. So it becomes the business brain. So I'd like to cover off some of the bigger strategic questions. These are the things which, if you can get into, sort out, then your thinking will become clearer. So it goes muddy, but it then becomes clearer about this is where we are now, this is what we want to do, this is what we want to make happen. So the first question for me is, what business are you in? Recently been working with an agency that was specialising in email. They thought they were an email agency. They thought people were buying email from them, as well as the rest of the digital piece. But actually, what clients were really buying from them was a customer on a plate. And once the agency realised the business we're in is giving our clients customers on a plate, then the email thing became almost inconsequential. So they actually were able to focus far more on the digital piece, far more on lead gen, because that's what was giving the results to the clients. And they even added a telesales function. They employed 2 people doing telesales for the clients, which is understanding what business you're in, which isn't what you think it is, but it's what your client wants and responding to that. But that's my point. What business are you in? Because clients don't buy from you for what you do. Clients buy from you for what you do for them. That's what they're buying. They're buying that. They're buying the benefit of working with you, not the technology. So don't think we're a digital agency. Think, what is it that we're doing for our customers? And the answer to that normally is we're helping them get more or better customers, or find different customers, or go into new marketplaces, or go into new industries. That's what we're helping them. We're helping our clients run better businesses. And if we understand that, we're going to be way ahead of the competition, because most people still think they're digital agencies. Second big strategic question is, where do you make the money? Think of the 80-20 rule. Again, an agency I've been working with over the last 2 weeks, when we actually did the analysis, we discovered that literally 4 or 5 clients at the top created all the profit, and some 20 or 30 clients underneath made no profit on them at all. They were smaller, they were expensive to run, it wasn't working. So the aha moment is, if that's where we make the money, let's get more of that, and if that's where we don't make the money, let's just do less of it. Let's just grow up. Let's learn to use the N word, to say, no, we're not going to do that. We only deal with clients more than £1,000 a month. We're not going to do £400 a month clients, because it's too expensive for us and it's not in line with our plan. Another big strategic question is, how good are your competitive positions? I mean, you need to be honest about how good are you compared with your competitors to the left and to the right and above and beneath you, and what are your strengths? And so if you do go in to compete head on with them, you're pitching for the same piece of business, what is it that makes you different from them? Is it that you're younger, that you're older, that you've got a marketing background, that you've got a technical background, you're part of the Google partner group? What is it that makes you different, especially in the eyes of the customers? Next question. Is it a good industry to be in? There's loads of people say, oh, it's really tough digital agency. There are so many, everyone's out there, people emailing people, offering to do stuff for half the price, claiming to get people on to page number 1 of Google. I would argue that this is a brilliant place to be. The industry is growing like billy-o, 40–50% per year. There are loads of new players coming in who are coming in with cheapest chips, virtually free offerings, claiming to be Ubering what's going on. And if anyone buys from them, they leave them quite quickly. The more grown-up, more intelligent clients recognize that they need to buy value, they need to buy something that's got some kind of mark, some sort of reputation, some sort of honesty and integrity about it, and they will buy higher up the food chain than that. And if you're in the upper end of the marketplace, in other words, you have credibility of clients, you have credibility in case studies, you've got testimonials, you've done great work, you deliver an awesome return on investment, then they're going to be more likely to buy from you. You don't want the customers who are only looking for the cheap stuff. So I think it's a great industry to be in, principally because you can demonstrate return on investment. You can demonstrate for every pound that a client pays you what they're getting for their money. They have that sense of connectivity with it. Next question. What do your customers think? It's all about your customers. It's not about what you do. It's what your customers think. You need to talk to them. Do a customer survey. Find out what they love about you. Find out what they hate about you. But do that customer survey. And you probably get some more work from a customer survey. They normally say, oh, I'm so glad you phoned. Now you're here. There's a few things I'd like to talk to you about. Question, how do you increase profits quickly? You need to understand the best way to increase profits. And if you can increase them quickly, why aren't you doing that in any case? What is the downside of doing that? It is about that. And the secret normally is put your prices up, or cross-sell or upsell, or package stuff together, or gold, silver, bronze it. Create a platinum package. But you need to be able to increase your profits quickly. And for me, the big question is, how do you build long-term value? We spend too much time thinking about how do we grow the business? How do we get more turnover? How do we get more customers? How do we get more staff? How do we keep going? How do we turn the handle? How do we make it happen? But why on earth are you doing this? Very few businesses actually talk about exits. I'll rephrase that. Loads of businesses say, I'm going to make my money when I exit. I'm going to sell the business. And then when you say to them, have you got an exit plan? They say, oh, no. And in fact, it's something like 75% of small businesses in the UK say they want to make their money on exit, but only 25, 30% of them actually have an exit plan. So you need to have that exit plan. So think, can I start creating an asset that I'll be able to sell at a later stage? If that's what I'm trying to do, then one key to that is create something which is attractive to other people, which is a money machine, a sausage factory that you put money in, money comes out the other end, something that has a great team, something that has great systems and processes, something that has a legacy of great client names, but also probably a business which is fairly unique. Whether you're selling, whether it's a management buyout, you probably need to create a business that's like that has long-term value that other people will invest in. That becomes your pension policy, and you can create something that someone else will want to buy. And out of the back of that, you might want to create a little property portfolio of buying a buy-to-let every 6 months or a year. Talk to your accountant about that. But you need to be growing and building the asset value to do with yourself. So, this is all part of the 5-step framework from the Elevator program. Yeah. Setting your vision. Where do you want to be in 6 months' time? Growing your business, connecting with clients, showing your strengths, getting your people engaged, trained up, and part of the thing. And being bigger, turbocharging the agency to make it into something really, really big. You need to do the strategic thinking so you know what it is you're trying to do, so you know what the plan is. You need to do the strategic thinking so you can tell your staff what the journey is, you can tell investors what the journey is, and it informs you about what you do and what you don't do. That's kind of what the piece is about. It's something that's really vital for it to actually happen. And of course, planning's great, but you need to be able to track the performance. You can go to the Elevator website and you can have your performance tracked against what your expectations were, and then you can map and change and alter that in the way that you actually want to do. I would encourage you to create a really simple business dashboard on that monthly visit in that State of the Nation report. 3 or 4 fundamental measures on finance on a monthly basis to measure your business. 3 or 4 fundamental measures on marketing to measure your business. 3 or 4 measures in operations. Finance might be turnover, average client value, cash in bank, net profit. Marketing might be cost of customer acquisition, lifetime value of customers, number of new customers acquired, average value of customers. It's for you, for your business. And operations might be defect rate, it might be downtime, it might be hours spent working, it might be delivery on time to spec to clients. It might be number of qualified staff, whatever the measures are. But actually create a dashboard to measure your performance to actually make it go. Then you can make some decisions based on the performance you've actually had in your business. The Elevator program is about helping you grow your business. This has been the second in 4 videos. The first video was about just getting planning sorted out, putting some numbers down. This one's more about strategy and thinking and planning. The strategic plan is about how are we going to grow the business by being faster, smarter, brighter, friendlier, nicer, by being in 1 town, by being in 10 towns, by scaling, it's just about how are we going to grow this agency. In the next Hangout, we're going to look at marketing, how we engage with our clients, and in the Hangout after that, we're going to look at teams, which is how do we engage our people and get our people on side and on board. I implore you to think carefully about what is your strategy, how are you going to grow your business, because the clearer you are about that, the easier it is to get people on board, and the clearer you are, it is about how you make that happen. And I wish you every luck. See you in the next Hangout. Thank you very much.